Hey, it's John Nemo. Welcome back to another episode of Nemo Radio. I wanted to talk today about robots. they, they are showing up everywhere on my LinkedIn feed. And I'm talking specifically about a new strategy that I'm seeing and hearing a lot about. And even when I post content on LinkedIn, I'm seeing it happen. And I'm really curious at how this is going to work. And of course, you know me, I have a very strong opinion about it. And it's really talking about the use of AI or artificial intelligence on LinkedIn comments. Now, if you haven't seen this or haven't, used it on LinkedIn, you'll see if you start posting a lot of content and status updates on LinkedIn, you're going to start getting comments that just don't sound like a real person. So let me show you an example of one. Here we go. I just posted something on LinkedIn, and then this comment came up. The person shall remain nameless. I'm not here to call anyone out, but I'll read it in my robot voice. Fascinating insights, John. LinkedIn's true potential lies in personal connections and authentic conversations. Building genuine relationships through DMs can lead to substantial business opportunities. Thank you for sharing your valuable perspective. Okay, so I'll read it in normal voice. But it says, fascinating insights, John. LinkedIn's true potential, and again, this is what sounds like AI. LinkedIn's true potential lies in personal connections and authentic conversations. Do real people talk like that on LinkedIn comments, right? And then this also sounds like AI. Building genuine relationships through DMs can lead to substantial business opportunities. And this especially sounds like AI. Thanks for sharing your valuable perspective. So again, I actually replied to the person and said, is that really you or is that AI? I'm just curious. And I'm not here to make fun of people or put them on blast or anything like that. But what I want to explain why I think this is happening, what I think the strategy is behind it, and why I disagree with it. And then more importantly, what you should be doing instead if you want to leverage LinkedIn for lead generation. So again, to give you a little perspective and a little context, I've been leveraging LinkedIn to generate leads for myself and for clients since 2012. So I've seen kind of a lot of change, over the years, over the decades on LinkedIn. And one thing that has never changed is kind of this obsession people have with the LinkedIn algorithm and the LinkedIn newsfeed. And what I mean is, if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, if you go on the platform and you go into the home area, there's a news feed, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, just like Twitter, right? It's a feed of content and posts. And everyone that you talk to, at least as far as the LinkedIn guru community, they all are obsessed with the algorithm and how to get more likes and how to get more comments and how to get more people to view your content. And so one of the things to kind of unpack what the algorithm is and why people are obsessed with it, and then why I think it's a waste of time, why I think it's a complete waste of time and what to do instead. So basically the way the LinkedIn algorithm works is this, and a lot of people don't understand the basics of it. So let's say you have 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. And it used to be, if you posted in the LinkedIn newsfeed a status update, right? Text, photo, video, whatever, all 1,000 of your connections or followers, because people can also just choose to follow you on LinkedIn, they would all see it. You're like, yep, I have 1,000 followers. If I hit post, they all see it, just like it used to be on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Well, LinkedIn has changed. So the way it kind of currently works is, just because you post does not mean all 1,000 of your followers or connections who are first degree connections see it. In fact, a very, very small, tiny percentage see it. A random slice of, say, 20, 30, 40 people that you're connected to out of that 1,000 will see this surface in their LinkedIn news feeds. Now, depending on how quickly those people interact with your content, meaning how quickly they like, comment, share, reshare, repost, anything like that, the algorithm looks for that. It's called velocity. And it's like, well, if a bunch of people are interacting with John's update, of those 37 people we showed it to out of the 1,000, it must be good content. We'll now show it to 682 people out of his 1,000. And then again, we will, continue to do that and expand it. And that's kind of how a post goes viral, correct? How many people share it, all that. Well, people, of course, now for years have tried to game the system. So there's these LinkedIn engagement pods where people like secretly meet over on Facebook and they say, okay, I'm going to, do a post in 5 seconds and everyone go over there and like it and share and comment. And they try to boost themselves in the algorithm. And so AI comments are another way to do this, because again, the LinkedIn algorithm changes all the time. And there's different experts you can follow and try to stay ahead of it. And one of the latest things, right, with the LinkedIn algorithm is, hey, if you personally are on LinkedIn commenting and adding value to other people's posts in the newsfeed, if you're getting in there and you're sharing your 2 cents and you're adding to the conversation, LinkedIn will see that as a positive and will give you more love when you post, original content. Or, hey, one of the other strategies is find famous people on LinkedIn or people in your niche that have a big audience and who post about stuff. Go in and add a really great value-based content comment, and that'll catch people's attention. They'll go, wow, who's this John Nemo with such great tips? I'm going to go over and follow him and connect with him. And so it's this constant kind of evolving game. And I think the AI comments are kind of the next iteration. Again, because everyone's lazy, right? Let's admit it. We all just want to push a button and not work. And what it is, of course, AI now says, hey, we will go into your LinkedIn newsfeed, or you can pick 100 people, and anytime they post on LinkedIn, our AI will automatically go in and like and comment and share the post, or, acting as you, similar to this comment I read, right? Fascinating insights, LinkedIn's true potential, blah, blah, blah. Like, again, having been on LinkedIn for more than a dozen years and having read hundreds and thousands of comments, people don't talk like that, simply put, correct? Like, that's how machines talk. That's how AI talks, especially using AI, right? Writing with AI, creating things with AI. The more you do that, the more you can smell how AI works. And listen, I have 3 boys, all still in school. I get how AI is used for homework and writing papers and how teachers are battling all that. And again, it's not about the AI. It's just about the authenticity and the tone of the comments. There's not really anything that person said in their comment that really added incredible value to the conversation, nor, again, this is where we get into a key mistake people make with LinkedIn, is they forget the person on the other end of that comment or that connection request or that message is a real human being who has emotions, who feels things, who acts like you're talking to them one-on-one. So again, the person commented on my post. They said fascinating insights, blah, 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 but it didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like they actually read my post and that it helped them in some tangible way. They didn't really add any incredible insight or value other than saying, this kind of generic line about, yeah, personal connections are great on LinkedIn, build relationships. So for me, I didn't get any juice out of that as a prospect because, that person replied and that was such a thoughtful comment. I'm going to go pay attention to them and look at their profile. And this is the other mistake I think people make is I have so many people that come and talk to me. And again, if you don't know, right, I run a done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation agency. So we work with clients literally all over the world, and we use their personal LinkedIn profile and help them use LinkedIn every day to generate leads, to make sales, to find customers, all that good stuff. And almost every single time someone comes to me and wants to work with us, that's one of the first questions they ask. Well, how much content do I need to publish on LinkedIn? Do I need to be in there commenting, for 5 hours a day, scouring posts? Do I need to be publishing 50 status updates every day and new videos every day and all this content and everything? And here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is the great news about LinkedIn lead generation. This literally has not changed since 2012. All the money on LinkedIn is in the mailbox. It's still all in one-on-one messaging and one-on-one exchanges. And I'll unpack all that in a minute, but I want you, if you're caught up in this chaos of trying to create content and do nonstop commenting on LinkedIn posts and you're spinning your wheels, none of it, in my experience, working with hundreds of different clients all over the world and doing it for myself every single day for the last 12 years, none of it leads to tangible, easy sales at the end of the day. You may get a bunch of comments, you may get a bunch of likes, you may get a bunch of shares, you may get a bunch of views on your post, but last I checked, you cannot deposit any of that into your bank account, right? So I call it vanity metrics, right? Vanity metrics. It makes you feel good. You feel real proud of yourself. Oh, my latest post got 6,283 views and 482 comments and 681 likes. Okay, but how many sales did it result in? And so, again, there's a whole strategy behind that of, okay, chase down all 482 people that commented, message them one-on-one, build context around their comments. It's still the same sales approach, right? At the end of the day, what I have found with LinkedIn is all the money's in the mailbox. It's in one-on-one exchanges. And there's a very simple way to do this. So the good news for you, if you want to generate more leads on LinkedIn, make more sales, qualify your leads better, is you simply just have to have one or two really good pieces of content that you can use over and over and over again. So of course, step one, you have a great LinkedIn profile, client facing. And again, I'll have links in this podcast episode to all kinds of free resources, free digital copies of my books, free link to my LinkedIn profile template that will help you create a client facing profile. So step one is simply have a great LinkedIn profile, client facing, all about an audience you serve, how you help them get what they want. It doesn't read like a resume, et cetera, et cetera. Step two is now you use LinkedIn's built-in search features, especially Sales Navigator, which is a paid level subscription. And you can literally go through 1 billion with a B, 1 billion profiles and make these hyper-targeted niched lists of the exact person who you want to sell your product or service to. So job title, industry, how many years they've been in the role, how many people they manage, how big their company is, what industry they're in, where they went to college, anything like that. You can build these perfect lists. And then what you do simply is you reach out to each one of those people one-on-one. And you don't have to do a bunch of personal research and try to personalize every single invited message. What I have found with the money being in the mailbox here today, right now, as I talk to you recording this episode, is you qualify and then you personalize. And so what I mean is you reach out to people one-on-one with literally one sentence. There's no more writing paragraphs and paragraphs in LinkedIn messages. You literally write one sentence that basically asks a question in order to qualify the person on the other end of the message. What you simply say is, hey, John, hey, Sally, hey, Bill, would you be interested in my best free tips on blank? Hey, Sally, John, or Bill, should I send you a free digital copy of my ebook on blank? Hey, Sally, Joe, Bill, whatever. Would you be interested in me sending over a video I put together that helps people just like you get XYZ result? You basically offer them a free piece of content in one sentence. Hey, should I send this over? Would you be interested in this? Would it make sense for me to share? Whatever it is, video, ebook, whatever it might be, right? I found ebooks work incredibly well, which I can talk about in a different episode for another reason, but also on-demand videos, whatever it might be, right? You basically just say that to the person because if they're interested, they're going to say, yeah, sure. I'm always looking for free tips. So for me, for example, if I want to get more clients who want to use LinkedIn for lead generation, I'll simply do a one sentence message. Hey, Sally, would you be interested in my best tips on generating leads here on LinkedIn? Hey, Sally, should I send over a digital copy of my new ebook, LinkedIn Lead Generation for Business Coaches? Hey, Fred, would you be interested in a free copy of my digital book, LinkedIn Lead Generation for Franchise Consultants? So I've created these kind of niched ebooks specific to different professionals, different industries, different topics, which talk about this benefit that they want, right? So the benefit I'm selling or offering you is how to get leads with LinkedIn. For you, it might be something else, leadership tips, how to save on taxes, whatever it might be, right? The 7 mistakes every small business owner makes with their financial reporting and how to fix them. A case study on how you helped a XYZ type of person get an ABC type outcome. So basically you just offer that as the first message. If they say yes, then you send over the content. Now you have context to further the conversation. You say, great, here's a PDF of the ebook. I'm super excited to hear your thoughts. And then what we do for clients is we literally create a Google sheet, a spreadsheet of every person that responds, what message they respond to, when we delivered the free content, and then we, do the follow-up process. We give them a few days, whatever it is. Hey, did you have a chance to read the ebook? No, I'm going to get to it Monday. Okay, well, we'll make a note. We'll follow up Monday. Did you have a chance to get to the ebook, or did football games get in the way? Haha, right? Whatever it is. But we'll follow up until they look at the content, because you want to qualify people with content. And a good ebook, a good on-demand video, a good on-demand training, a good, case study will not only educate people, it will demonstrate your expertise. It will show that you're really good at helping people get this outcome, solve this problem, get this benefit. So my ebooks literally give away the secret sauce. I show you how to get leads on LinkedIn. I share templates. I share scripts. I share strategies. I don't hold anything back and keep it secret, because I've learned, and anyone can claim they're the guru. Anyone can claim they're the expert. Anyone can claim they can get you 100 leads a day on LinkedIn if you'll only get on a call with them, right? No one's buying that anymore. Everyone knows it's I can't say it the way that BS walks or BS talks and BS walks or whatever, but it's basically about, you've got to show people, you've got to demonstrate your expertise for a couple of reasons. One is they don't know, like, or trust you. Just because you claim you're an expert doesn't mean you are. Like, show me that you're an expert. Actually help me on this topic. Show me how I could get this benefit. Show me how I could solve this problem. Demonstrate to me that you know what you're doing. Give me concrete, actionable tips that I could use if I wanted. So, for example, if you wanted to sell me, tax strategies for small business owners, you would write an ebook that said, hey, did you know that if you have a business set up as an S Corp, you can do something called a pass-through tax in the state of Minnesota? And that's a tax advantage a lot of small business owners don't know about, where you can actually pay your state taxes for you as the business owner and the employee through your S Corp. And this helps you save this and that and that. And I'd be like, wow, that's really cool. Now, I don't want to go learn tax code, but can you just implement it for me and do my taxes? Sure. Right. So that's the example, is when you demonstrate the expertise and show them the techniques and show them the strategies, you're going to always have a percentage of people that say, wow, you really know your stuff. That's great. I don't want to deal with it. I don't have the time. I don't want to learn how to implement all this. Can I just hire you and your team to do it for me? Very simple, correct? Or you show them that you can be this trusted guide to get them where they want. It's going to naturally, they're going to say, well, I know I need a guide on this journey. I loved your story. I love what you said. I love how the examples you gave. Can I hire you to be my trusted guide as a coach, a consultant, whatever? So that's the other part of content doing its job, is not only are you demonstrating expertise and educating people, you're also sharing your personal story. You're talking about your journey. You're putting in authentic photo and video of yourself and letting people get to know you, right? Being genuine. So they feel like, oh, okay, not only is this person an expert and really good at what they do, and they've shown me some really good tips, I like them. I feel like I would get along with them. I like their communication style. I like their sense of humor. I like the fact that they're also insert the blank, family person, introvert, extrovert, funny, Minnesota Vikings fan, whatever it is about you. The more you share your authentic, genuine self, the more you're going to attract people that are like, yeah, I like you. I feel like you're approachable and authentic. And not only do I need someone to help me solve this problem at a business level, I want to work with someone I feel like I get along with and have a good time with. So that's where the content really qualifies kind of in, that next phase. So phase one is you simply send a one-on-one LinkedIn message. If they say yes and they want the free tips, let the content do that work and follow up. And then once they say, yeah, I read your ebook, I really enjoyed it, further the conversation. Well, what resonated? What did you find most helpful? And then they'll tell you, well, I really like the part about this. That's been a struggle for me in my business. Oh, great. Well, that's something I could definitely explore helping you with. Would it make sense to jump on a Zoom call and maybe we can talk about it more? Sure. Okay. And all of a sudden, you've got a qualified lead that's ready to talk to you who's already warmed up. Think about this with LinkedIn lead generation and how you're qualifying these leads. One is you're contacting the exact ideal person on LinkedIn who, in theory, would be a good fit for your services, could afford them, everything else. Two is you're not just jumping on a call with them immediately. You're giving them content, and the more value the content has, the better. So maybe it's a 3,000, 5,000 word ebook. Maybe it's a really high-end 10-minute video walking through a cool case study, whatever it is. They're going through content to get to know, like, and trust you as a person and to see your expertise. And then they're saying they have a need, and then they're saying they want to talk to you about that need. So it's a very, very qualified type lead. And it's a very simple process because, again, if you let your content do the heavy lifting, let your content get the person qualified and warmed up. There's so much less time consumed trying to chase people around with comments and fake AI stuff and algorithm stuff. Again, very few people, even if you get a bunch of views on your content or a bunch of likes and comments, this has been my experience. And I'll even share like media coverage. I was featured in the New York Times on the cover of the Sunday business section. I got approximately one lead from the leading, newspaper in America, featuring me in the business section on a Sunday with a circulation of like 1 million people, 2 million people. I got one lead and they didn't even buy, right? Whereas from one-on-one LinkedIn messages every day, I get tons of leads, tons of sales because you're doing that relationship-based approach and that strategy. So the great news is, you don't have to go crazy trying to game the LinkedIn algorithm, playing with AI, publishing tons of content, spending all day commenting. What you want to do is once someone says they're interested in your content, deliver the content. And oh, by the way, now it's easy to personalize your follow-up because they're interested in your topic and your content. Take a few minutes to look at their LinkedIn profile. And when you send a follow-up message, hey, did you find the ebook helpful? By the way, I see you live in Chicago, or I see you went to this college, or I see we both worked at this place. And then you can do these icebreakery type things of, hey, I see you live in Chicago. My family and I are going to be visiting this summer. We have 3 little kids. What do you recommend for families to do for fun? That's the same thing you do in real life when you're talking to a human being one-on-one, and you learn more about them and where they're from, and you try to build some rapport so it's not just work and business talk the whole time. So there you go. I had to get that off my chest because I see these AI comments coming more and more and more, and I want to just like be snarky and send back like a robot emoji. Like, tell your AI that it's not doing anything for me. But I also knew that there was value in this to kind of explain why I think the trend is happening. I've seen it for over a dozen years, the obsession with the algorithm and this kind of golden promise of if more people just viewed my content and liked and shared, it doesn't translate easily into sales. It just doesn't. Attention doesn't always translate into sales because you're not necessarily getting qualified people. So for example, I might have a post that does really well, and it might be a bunch of college interns. It might be a bunch of lower level, early in their career salespeople. It might be people in India or Pakistan or wherever that aren't my ideal client, meaning they want to do a high ticket done for you service. So that's why your time is better spent in trying to go to the masses and publish and go viral and hope it all works out. It's better to just go targeted one-on-one to the exact person on paper would be a good fit for you, and then offer the free content if they say yes. Follow up, personalize, let the content do the heavy lifting, move that natural conversation toward, well, would it make sense to talk live or share this with you or whatever. You're going to see great results. So there you go. Hope that's helpful. Again, with this episode, you'll see tons of links to free resources. Just click on those. If you have any other, insights or questions or want help, nemomediagroup.com. Go to nemomediagroup.com. We've got all our free resources there. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon on another episode.